Every year we create priorities about what we're moving into the next year, what our goals are for the budget. And so in 2019 we had a priority around our youth. A big priority, as you know, we hired our new Joy Village coordinator who has tremendous experience and commitment, the lovely Brianna Ebmeyer, and she's doing a fabulous job with our teens and our Joy Village. Yes. Yes, and let me put a small or big plug in there. Joy Village is always in need of volunteers, whether it's office volunteers, whatever, graphic volunteers, check-in volunteers, assistants in the classroom, admin volunteers. They need as many. Joy Village is like a mini center. So all the things that we have volunteers for, Joy Village kind of needs the same kind of thing. So if you love hanging out with the kids, be in the classroom, otherwise support them. I mean, it's really, we have a full team of teachers. And as you know, just a couple of years ago, we started paying them. So they're consistently in the classroom every Sunday, and they're doing an amazing job. So we have expanded the teen program and the beyond the child care on Wednesday nights. If you don't know, we do have child care on Wednesday nights, and the teens meet on Wednesday nights, and they do a lot of their planning for their events that night. And finally, we have gotten approval from the City of Farmers Branch and our landlord to move forward on our playground. Yes, that took all year, just that part of it. And so we're in the final planning stages of all of that. We plan to have it in place next March. We also had a whole program, a whole priority around self-growth and transformation. We've been including expanding our sanghas. We've added new sanghas. Rob Bright has added an additional night to his empowerment lineup of circles. We've launched our devoted member category, and we honored 58 devoted members this year. That goes from this year back, as far as you can imagine, 30 years of people who have been devoted to this community. A devoted member is somebody who is in our top 20% givers. They are in our top 20% volunteers. They are in our top 20% people who take the classes, and they are the people that are our go-to people when the community needs something or someone. We know that if we ask, they're there. That's what it means to be a devoted member. And the devoted members have found something here long term, right? So they're no longer consuming spirituality, they're actually practicing it. And we would like to have each and every one of you become a devoted member. That's the goal. The goal is for each and every one of you to become a devoted member, because that means you're living the teachings at every area of your life in a deep, ongoing way. So it's really exciting to do acknowledge our first devoted members. There's many benefits of being a devoted member. One of them is that they get one-on-one spiritual coaching with either Reverend Karen or myself. So if you are a devoted member in the room and you are not yet taking advantage of that, please know that that is something that is available to you. And if you're a devoted member, you get 75% off any class that Karen or I teach. You do have to ask for the code. It is a secret devoted member code. Yeah, something worth it. Okay. We continue to offer transformational opportunities through Wednesday night, Sunday morning class. We did launch a Sunday night offering and additional meditation over this past year, and neither of them really gained traction, so we let them go. But that is part of what we're doing every year, is we're kind of innovating, we're experimenting, we're seeing what the needs of our community are, what the needs of the greater community are, and how we can serve them, those needs. And so you'll continue to see that. You'll continue to see innovation and new offerings, and those that really feel like they fill a need, then those will be the ones that continue, and if they don't, then we'll find some other things to try. And we have been working on our spiritual maturity map. We finished all of that this year, and you'll hear about the assessment tool that we're going to be working on in 2020. In growing and expanding, we had a big a focus on growing and expanding. We have hired our music director, Oscar, and is absolutely doing an amazing job, especially with our choir. We cannot wait for you to hear the choir on the first Sunday in November, and he's very excited about, having the choir come forward a lot more often during the year. So if you are not yet part of the choir and you would like to be, you should see Oscar. He's getting his sea legs, and we really expect that in 2020 the music program will continue to take off. We have done some beta testing for CSL classes, courses that has taken a lot longer than we expected, but we expect to be doing more of that coming up. We've also brought in big name speakers like Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., who filled our sanctuary and overflowed in the workshop. And his first week on Facebook with our talk, let me start that sentence again. His talk that he did here on Facebook in the first week got 1,400 views. Yeah, and so ways in which we're getting CSL Dallas out there. We have James Van Prague scheduled for this for August. We had hoped he would be here in 2019. He's actually coming in 2020. We have no increase in our marketing budget this past year. However, Ryan with his team, all of you know who you are, this fabulous team have been doing amazing work. He's got 16 volunteers who are direct marketing through Meetup, Instagram, and Facebook, Eventbrite, and all kinds of other amazing things. And it's really getting the word out. And we're very grateful for that. People are coming to all these events primarily because of his team's event. And now Ryan is actually offering to teach other CSLs what he's learning to do with us, which is a really cool thing. We are known to be always out in the forefront. We've had a commitment to really share everything that we do with other CSL communities, and it's really amazing to see staff and leadership take up that same ethic and that same point of view. Let's just give it away and support as many people as we possibly can. Okay, finally, in education, we have always a big priority about education. We have 10 students in practitioner training this year, so you'll see 10 new practitioners come next summer. Very excited about that. We had hoped to open our School of Spiritual Leadership. Actually, we opened our School of Spiritual Leadership in the fall for ministerial training. We had a number of people drop out due to various reasons, some very much health related. So we were unable to continue that, but we will be simply pushing it back a year. We'll open our ministerial training in the fall of 2020. And we've been offering our classes online. We've had people from all over the country. We've had ministers on our online classes. And Karen and I have each offered 3 workshops, which we've been experimenting with. Karen had 112 people in her Money is God in Action workshop. We had 34 in our Spirit-Centered Relationship workshop, which we are doing online again, as you heard about. And my Spiritual Mind Treatment, Manifestation, and Mysticism workshop at 45 people. So we're really looking to expand that. And all of those workshops we're now turning into e-courses. That was the royal we. That would be Ryan and his folks. Turning them into e-courses. So keep spreading the message, right? Keep spreading the message, get the word out. Other things to celebrate in 2019. On Easter Sunday, thank you to Eventbrite. We had 295 people in attendance. We had 130 people in Joy Village, which was a little overwhelming. So that was pretty fun. We had 47 first-time visitors and 200 kids at the Easter egg hunt. No, it was very cool. We were not 100% prepared for that many people. We did have to say to Ryan, please don't keep upping the amount of tickets that are available. But what we discovered is what an amazing service that was to people in our community that are not connected with a spiritual community. Many of them seemed to be immigrants who were not connected anywhere else, and yet they wanted their children to have what whether it's religious or not, a particularly American experience. And they got to have that here. And so whether we were prepared or not, whether it actually causes one more person to come to the community or even take up the science of mind, the truth was, it was an extraordinary community service act. And that just was amazing. So yeah, you get to applaud that. I mean, that was really, really wonderful. And it's really powerful to do things that really aren't expecting a return. Right? It doesn't matter whether they come again. So we're looking for some other events like that we can just gift to the larger community. If you're not connected anywhere else and you want to have this sort of cultural / religious, spiritual experience, CSLDallas is a place where you can safely come and have that experience. So that was very cool. Of course, our Fab 5 celebration, thanks to Reverend Patty and Debbie Hine, the amazing Debbie Hine and Reverend Patty. Yes, we had our Fab 5 celebration, which was truly extraordinary. We celebrated so much good. We had great workshops. We had an amazing experience. I've never felt so blessed in my life, and I know Reverend Karen felt the same. So that was really awesome. Out in Dallas and beyond, we continue to show up in our city to help create a world that works for all through spiritual activism, being about love, peace, justice, and equality. So you know that Karen and I have both been part of Faith Forward Dallas. Karen has really taken the front lead on that, and she's now on one of the leadership teams in Faith Forward Dallas, which is a large group of Dallas faith leaders who come together to take action on peace and justice. They come together as a community on social and moral issues such as immigration and refugees and gun violence. Karen also went to El Paso with 400 faith leaders regarding the detention centers there that are in that area and the wall and all of that sort of thing. CSLDallas was a co-sponsor of the Compassion Conference, and Avis Eyes and Tom Boldry were really big in making that happen. And our core council participated in the Compassion Walk, which focused on gun violence. And which was another really kind of cool thing. Karen and I were on this cover of the Science of Mind magazine in June. Just very cool, super cool. And you may not know, I write regularly for the magazine, and I keep getting scolded for not telling you. So I have an article in October, November, and December. I have a series in October, November, and December of this year, which is highlighting the new languaging that we've written for the principles and practices that we teach in the Science of Mind. Sherry Wood has said it's one of the best things I've ever written. So if she thinks so, you better read it. So I just want to let you know, and I do write regularly for the magazine, so yeah, it's very cool. And finally, sort of one of those kind of serendipitous things, we've been in Farmers Branch since 2004, and 2 months ago we had a ribbon cutting, a grand opening with the Metro Crest Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to Sherry and Cheryl Newman, we got involved with them, and that's what they do when you're a new member. Of course, they assume you're new to the area, but when you're a new member, they come and they do a ribbon cutting ceremony. We had the mayor of Farmers Branch here. We had other elected officials. We had people from the Metro Crest Chamber. We had people from our own community and our core council here. And I will tell you that could quite possibly be the most moving experience that I have personally had at CSLDallas all year. And I will tell you why. Because those people walked around, they read our stuff, they met our core council. And before even Karen or I had anything to say or to talk about, the mayor, the leader of the president of the Metro Crest Chamber, and somebody else I think he might have been the executive director, all got up and spoke about how amazing it was to see an organization, especially a spiritual organization, that stood so profoundly for diversity and inclusion. And Thank you. And they talked about how in the last few years, for both Farmers Branch and the Metro Crest Chamber of Commerce, this has become a deep, profound topic. They've done all kinds of work as a business community about that, and to see a spiritual community. And actually, they apologized to us for not knowing that we existed. And to really talk about, there's so much we can do together. There's so much that we can do together with our city officials and the businesses in this community, because they are committed to the same things that we're committed for. It was so moving. It was so, shall I say, actually surprising to hear what they had to say and how grateful they were to get to know us. And we thought we were doing it so we could get to know them. Right? I mean, it was this extraordinarily mutual, I mean, it makes me weep to think about how important this community is. And how important you are, that you're a part of it. Because it is in the doing and the being, it's that we make a difference, right? And because you stand for who you are, and we stand for who we are, it makes a difference. And we are making a difference, and we have been all year. So thank you, I love you. It's been really an amazing year.